Hello, my name is Anthony Lemire, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction into the world of computer security or information security. When we talk about information security, most people jump to one term and one term only. And I bet you're all thinking of that term right this second. That is the word hacker. That's that malicious person that's out there to steal all your information. You're just an innocent bystander sitting there doing your work, going along, and that hacker is out there to grab your information, typing away at your keyboard, type, 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 and it seems like nothing's going wrong. And then, pow, right? That computer, all of a sudden, something happens, something you notice. Now, if it's a really bad case, we have this happening, right? We have smoke flying out of our computer, the computer breaks. We have to call our IT department. And then they're going to give us a lecture on how come we did not protect our information. And you're going to blame who? The hacker, right? Well, I want to let you in on a little trade secret. That is, in information security, we don't call a hacker a bad person. Now you're sitting there going, hold on a minute. Why wouldn't you call a hacker a bad person? Well, that's because we have two different terms that unfortunately get used interchangeably. We have the hacker versus the cracker. The first published article with the term hacker in it came from MIT. And it really meant nothing more than a person sitting there trying to get computer components to work with various lines of code, with programming. So a hacker is nothing more than your average person sitting there trying to get things to work. We can take the analogy of the person walking down the street or driving through your neighborhood and just looking at the different houses that are out there. That's the hacker. The hacker may notice some things as they're walking around. They have no malicious intent. They're not trying to break in the homes. They're not trying to scout the area. All they're doing is going through the neighborhood and seeing what's there. Now, a hacker, if he does notice something, a good hacker will come to you, knock on the door, and say, hey, I found this big gaping hole in your fence or in the side of your house. Were you aware of that? A really good hacker will even give you the things to fix that hole. Now you're sitting there maybe saying, well, that doesn't sound too bad, right? But the cracker, on the other hand, that's that person walking through that exact same neighborhood who may have put that hole in the fence, may have put that hole in the wall. This person does not have pure intentions. They're not out there observing your neighborhood. They're out there scouting your neighborhood. They're trying to break in. When I talk about information security, one of the analogies I do like to use is your house. It gives a better idea of being able to look inside. Computers are kind of hard to see, right? Everything is stored electronically, but we can all envision our house. We have doors, we have windows, we have people coming in and out of the house. They have to come in through the doors or the windows. It's very rare that somebody come in through a wall. There's got to be some kind of hole there. They can't just walk through the walls. So if you envision information security and your information being inside that house, your house being that computer, things will be a lot easier to see. Now, when we talk about information security, what are we trying to protect? The main thing we're trying to protect is information. With the advent of the World Wide Web and the internet, there is plenty of information that's out there. We want to share all that information so that we can use that information. We could stop hacking attacks tomorrow. We could lock up the information, take computers, put them in rooms, lock them up, and not allow anybody to access them. In the early days, that's what we had. We did not have the internet, and hooking up networks was a hard thing to do. Today, it's a very rare thing to see in a standalone machine, a machine that's not connected to anything. With that being the case, we do have to protect that information that's on those machines. And the amount of information is just incredible. So if we take a look at what we're trying to protect, again, we're trying to protect that house. We have a global society now from everybody from around the world can access information, can access the information on your computer. If your computer is connected to the internet is worldwide. That's why it's called the World Wide Web, right? Somebody over in this small little island here, halfway around the world, can hack the information on your computer. Now, I use the analogy of the house because it's easier to think about that. Your house is pretty much safe from somebody in North Korea. They have a long way to travel if they want to break into your house. But in the world of cybersecurity, that's not the case. They can be in a hut in Africa with a computer, a generator, and an internet connection. And then they can steal your information. So as the world has gotten smaller, we have to protect this data. Well, that brings up an interesting term. I keep throwing out data. What is data? What is information? What is the basis of this everything? It's been told to me several times that we are dashes, right? Our life, if you look at a headstone, you are a dash. You were born in 1900, you died in the year 2000. That's what it says on your tombstone. And that dash between those two represents everything. Well, in today's day, your information is represented by actual information. Your birth date, your social security, your credit card, your tax returns, your mortgage statements, your credit report, your income tax returns, your history of chats, your internet history, your purchasing history, what sites you visit, how many cars you own, where you live, where you vacation. All of that is information. Now, some of it you may be going, okay, some of that information I'm not that worried about, right? I don't care if people know where I vacation. But some of that information, my social security number, my tax returns, I want to protect that. And all that comes back to is bits. Now, since most people in this room are from the corporate environment, that's what we're going to address first. What are some of the problems we have inside the corporate world in information security? We look at 3 and a 4th possibility for information security problems. The first one is the user. And when I say the user, I'm not talking about somebody in the office that has any kind of malicious intent. Just somebody that happens to be doing their job, and rather than calling IT, they decide they can go ahead and fix the problem. Or it might be IT themselves, where they're just going and trying to fix the problem. They don't know exactly what they're doing, and they end up breaking something more than it would have been before. That person is hard to punish because they really didn't do it with any malicious intent. But that person will cause you headaches. And you're going, why would anybody be able to do something like that? There's been screensavers that if you download them, they have bugs on them. If you go to certain websites, just going to the website will bring that information, bring that bad information, bring those viruses, those worms onto your systems. The next thing we have to fight is the portability of data. You can take a flash drive and copy a lot of information. You could walk into most places with a hard drive in your pocket, terabytes of information, copy it all out, all down into this portable hard drive, and walk out the building. Nobody would even notice. If we think about that, going back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you would have to take out cases and cases and cases of paper. People are going to notice you taking boxes of paper out. Sticking a hard drive or flash drive in your pocket, people won't notice that. Now you're asking, why would somebody do that? Well, that brings up the next part, the disgruntled employee. Now, how could a disgruntled employee take out a whole network? Most of you have been following the current story at O'Hare Airport. The world's busiest airport was taken out by one person. Was shut down for over 24 hours by one disgruntled employee. Think about that. All air traffic, all these people having to go where they need to go, their safety depending on the information that's being broadcasted out of this FAA site, was taken down by one disgruntled employee. Unfortunately, it happens way too often. Whether they're getting paid by the competition more, or they are truly just trying to get your company. And we can't forget about the hacker that's out there as well. The hacker is always out there trying to get your information, trying to steal it. Now you're sitting there wondering and saying, is there anything I can do? This all sounds bad. There is plenty of things you can do, from installing internet protection software to having firewalls to making sure your information is backed up and safe. Again, this tutorial or this overview isn't meant to go that deep into it. It's just to give you the general what is out there. There's volumes of information. There's lots of things that we can look at and find to get this. So my time is about up here. Please look forward to some more discussions on this, but do take away that information security is vital, and we need to work together to bring it to a safe place. Thank you very much.